Ben Diesel, and this is the Dropbox for September 14th, 2011. Dark Horse Comics kicks off its 25th anniversary with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 9, Number 1. Season 8 ended with a bang when Buffy cut the world off from the Hell Dimensions and all supernatural influences. Great, right? Except Buffy has left her best friend Willow powerless and ended the long line of vampire slayers, leaving her hated by hundreds of girls who recently stood behind her. Newly relocated to San Francisco, Buffy can count on a fresh start and focus on what she's good at: slaying. Written by Josh Wheaton and Andrew Chambliss, the art is done by George Janty and Dexter Vines. Next is Star Wars Invasion, Revelations number 3. The Youngs and Vogue invaders are everywhere. Queen Nina of Artorias and her stepdaughter Kay discover that the haven meant for the refugees in their care is actually a work camp run by the Empire for the benefit of the invaders. But worse than that, Kay learns a horrifying secret about her adoptive mother and herself. Set within the time frame of the New Jedi Order novels, this has been written by Tom Taylor with art by Colin Wilson. Captured by the evil Sith Empire, Republic spy Theron Shan is able to find out what secret sacrifice brought about the end of the Great War. But once the Imperial covert activities are revealed, will he be able to act on his devastating discoveries? Find out this week on Star Wars The Old Republic, The Lost Sons number 4, written by Alexander Freed and drawn by George Freeman and Dave Ross. Writer Jim Shooter and artist Eduardo Francisco bring you Turok, Son of Stone number 3. They cut out your still-beating heart and offer it up to the gods before your dying eyes to keep the sun rising. Thus do the Aztecs serve their faith. The Shorn Ones, the deadliest, the most fearless warriors to ever walk the earth, drag Turok's young friend Andar and the beautiful Azta to the sacrificial altar, where Moxla, the Aztec god king, raises the obsidian dagger. Only Turok can save them. One man against 1,000. DC Comics relaunch issues kick off this week with Batman and Robin number 1, written by Peter J. Tamias, with art by Patrick Gleason and Mick Gray. Battling evil with his son Damian at his side, Batman now realizes that the hardest part of the job may be trying to work together. As Batman and Robin try to adjust to the new partnership, a figure emerges from Bruce Wayne's past. His name is Nobody, and he's not happy that Batman Incorporated is shining a light on his own shadowy war against evil. At last, Batwoman's new series begins. In Hydrology Part 1 of 5, Batwoman faces deadly new challenges in her war against Gotham City's underworld, and her new trials in her life as Kate Kane. Who or what is stealing children from the barrio, and for what vile purposes? Will Kate train her cousin Betty Kane, aka Flamebird, as her new sidekick? How will she handle unsettling revelations about her father, Colonel Jacob Kane? And why has a certain government agency suddenly taken interest in her? Find out in Batwoman number 1, written and drawn by J.H. Williams and Hayden Blackman. In Deathstroke number 1, friends die, family disappoints, but a legacy that lasts forever. Slade Wilson is the best mercenary in the DC Comics universe, and he's been doing it a long time. Some might say too long, but they'll never learn. Never turn your back on Deathstroke the Terminator. He won't quit, no matter how high the stakes. Written by Kyle Higgins and drawn by Joe Bennett, this team brings you the finest mayhem and gore that the Terminator has to offer. At the end of the war for the Green Lantern story arc, the Rogue Guardian known as Chrono was killed by Hal Jordan. As punishment for his crimes, he was removed from the Green Lantern Corps and returned to Earth. So who will be the Green Lantern in charge of Sector 2814 now? Will it be Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner, or someone completely new? Stay tuned as writer Jeff Johns and artist Doug Mankey bring you Green Lantern number 1. Cole Cash is a charming grifter few can resist, and yet he's about to be branded a serial killer when he begins hunting and exterminating inhuman creatures hidden in human form, creatures only he can see. Can the biggest sweet talker of all time talk his way out of this one when even his own brother thinks he's gone over the edge? This story is written by Nathan Edmondson and drawn by Cafu. Get ready for Grifter number 1. Atrocitus, Dexter, and Bleeze, oh my! The Red Lantern Corps return with their own series, battling against injustice in the most bloody way imaginable. Written by Peter Mulligan and drawn by Ed Benes and Rob Hunters, The Red Lantern's Rage in issue number 1. Harlequin, Deadshot, and Kingshot are recruited by the government to take on missions so dangerous they're considered sheer suicide. But they are defeated and imprisoned and being interrogated about their mission, and who's pulling the strings behind this illegal operation. Which one of them will be the first to crack under pressure? Find out this month in Suicide Squad number 1, written by Adam Glass, and art by Marco Rudy and Ryan Benjamin. They thought he was just an experiment, and a failed one at that. Grown from a combination of Kryptonian and human DNA, the clone was no more than a set of data to the scientists of Project Nowhere. But when the scope of his stunning powers was revealed, he became a deadly weapon. Now the question is, can a clone develop a conscience? Find out this month in Superboy 1, written by Scott Lobdell, with art by R.B. Silva and Rob Lean. Marvel continues its 2011 comic book crossover with Fear Itself, number 6. The penultimate chapter of the apocalypse is here. Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man scramble to make the Earth's last stand against the relentless Serpent and his army of world-shattering avatars. All while, amongst unbelievable chaos and destruction, Spider-Man makes the choice of a lifetime. Dark Asgard is risen, and all of Earth's forces converge on the World Tree as the globe shudders in the shadows of Fear Itself. A Fear Itself tie-in, Black Panther, The Man Without Fear, number 523, has Manhattan and the world overrun by chaos. A brutal battle for the soul of the city is waged by the reborn hate-monger and the American Panther, written by David Liss and art by Francisco Francavilla. Ghost Rider number 3 is also a Fear Itself tie-in. Amidst the chaos engulfing the planet, the mysterious Atom reveals his plans for the new female Ghost Rider, and the first on the list is ripping the sin from Johnny Blaze. When the true power of the Ghost Rider is revealed, the world will suddenly be a far more terrifying place. Written by Rob Williams, with art by Brian Ching and Adam Kubert. The final Fear Itself tie-in is the new Avengers number 16, written by Brian Michael Bendis and Mike Deodato. Fear Itself has ripped through New York, and now the new Avengers must reinvent themselves. And who better to help them than the Guardian Devil themselves? That's right, it's finally happening. Daredevil, the Avenger. The infestation has spread big time. How can the heroes of New York City hope to contain millions of spider-powered civilians? And is that a six-armed shocker? All this, plus one of Spider Island's biggest mysteries revealed. Who's the threat from Peter Parker's past, and what's their involvement in all of this? Find out in the story written by Dan Slott, with art by Humberto Ramos. In Deadpool number 43, after a brief stint in a maximum security mental institution, Deadpool is back on the streets, and back on track, running headlong toward oblivion as fast as little red feet can take him. But something causes him to stumble, or rather someone. Guess what, true believers? Deadpool's about to get a girlfriend. Unfortunately, she's a total psychopath, and Deadpool finds her utterly repulsive, but that's not going to stop her. Actually, nothing can stop her. Prepare yourself for the most disturbing love story ever told, written by Daniel Way, with art by Carlo Barbieri and Dave Johnson. In Uncanny X-Force, number 15, the Dark Angel saga reaches part 5. Genocide has incinerated half of Wolverine's body, leaving only 2 remaining members of X-Force to defeat Archangel and his army. Meanwhile, someone has wiped out a small town in northern Montana, and in its place a new alien landscape has grown. What is Tabula Rasa? Can Phantom X and Deadpool work together to survive its harsh terrain long enough to unlock its mysteries? Find out in a story written by Rick Remeder, with art by Jerome Opeña. Finally, in X-Men Legacy, number 255, when Rogue, Magneto, and Gambit jumped into space on an intergalactic search and rescue mission, they had no idea that it would land them in the middle of an extraterrestrial war. To make matters worse, the space station that serves as the battlefield for the conflict is slowly falling into a collapsing star. With time running out and the lives of Havoc, Polaris, and Marvel Girl on the line, these X-Men are in for a bumpy ride. Written by Mike Carey, with art by Steve Kurth. Thanks for watching the Dropbox. Come back next week for more comic-related news and releases. Bada peace.